Are you wondering how to submit an offer on a property? Maybe you found a perfect property that you'd like to offer on, or maybe you're just simply planning your very next purchase. Now, you may be shocked to hear, actually, most of the time we want our very first offer to be rejected. Now, this is what I teach my mentees, and this is the reason, because most of the time, the reason why we want our first offer to be rejected is because if it's accepted over here, we've gone in too high. There was more money left on the table we could have saved. Now, today I'm sharing with you how I submit an offer on a property, and this process has been responsible for me scaling my portfolio all the way to £3 million plus, depending on when you're watching this video. Now, before we begin, a little side note. I know a few of you would like to follow my flying journey. We've just been told that there's going to be a 4 to 6 week delay on the engine, so we're not going to be flying anytime soon now. Probably it'll be in 2024 by the time we've got the aircraft back. So we'll be flying then, and I'll be taking you in the cockpit with me and filming some really great footage. But let's get back onto property. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Marco. I'm a portfolio landlord, property investor, developer, and mentor. And I'm very, very passionate about investing in property. So before I start to detail the process on how to submit an offer on a property, I'm going to make the following assumptions. You've already seen a property, you've viewed the property, and you know roughly speaking what the offer is. Now, I'm going to tell you how to present that offer in the best possible light so you've got the best possible chance of this offer being accepted. Not only that, if you follow these steps, you'll be seen as professional, as credible, and the agent will be able to seriously recommend this offer to their vendor. Okay, so number one, phone the agent first prior to submitting your formal offer. Now, I like to phone them for several reasons. First of all, I like to phone them just to see if anything's different has changed since viewing the property and giving them a call right now. Maybe they've had offers in the meantime, and let's try and tease out what these offers are. Now, if an offer's been rejected, they can tell you what's been rejected, but if an offer has been accepted or still pending, they're really technically not supposed to tell you that. Now, there's different ways of getting them to tell you this, but it's your job to tease that information out from the agent. Now, whilst I'm on the phone with them, if I don't already have their email, I will ask for their email address just so I can formalize the offer and send it via email after the call. Now, what you could do whilst you're on the phone with the agent is tell them the offer that you're submitting. So again, you can follow this up later in the day via email with all the necessary documentation, which we'll come on to very shortly. But essentially, this call is to do a few things. Just find out if anything's changed, find out if there are any offers on the property, and just give them a heads up of what the offer is. Now, here's the thing, don't be pressured to stick to your original offer whilst you're on the phone, because if the agent said, Marco, we haven't got any offers since viewings, maybe, you know what, I'm going to just take an extra day, an extra 2 days, think about this and decrease my offer, because if no one's put an offer in, maybe I can get away with putting forward a slightly lower offer. However, let's flip this on the reverse. If there's lots of offers and lots of high offers, maybe actually we want to submit our very best offer from the get-go. Now, I've got a really good video that talks about how to negotiate, and there are 2 main ways on how to negotiate a property purchase. So I'll link to this in the description. Please do watch this at the end of this video. So number 2 is we need to submit this offer formally via email. Now, we all know some agents that aren't very good with their emails. Some will just prefer to have it over the phone, which is fine. But the majority of cases, I always follow it up in writing. I think this is the right thing to do, and it makes things very black and white. Now, what to include in the email? Well, first of all, include the offer itself. What figure is that you're offering on the property? Number 2, include a very brief description on why you're offering that amount. And this doesn't need to be more than 3, 4, 5 bullet points. Make it very short, snappy, concise. Don't be writing 2 pages of A4 describing why you're putting forward a low offer. It doesn't work. Just make it short, sharp, and to the point. Now, to appear professional, we also want to include our solicitor details, and this shows the agent we're ready to act fast. We also want to include, if we're buying with a mortgage, our mortgage broker details, again, just to show that we're already established, we know what we're doing. Now, if you're buying your own residential live-in property for you and your family, you could attach your mortgage in principle to the offer itself. Now, there's a few more things we need to include in this email. We need to include proof of funds, either for the deposit, if we're buying with a mortgage, or the whole purchase price, if we're buying in cash. This can simply be a screenshot of your bank statement. We also need to include some form of ID, whether it be driving license or maybe a copy of your passport. So it's really important that you include all those things that I've just mentioned, because if you do, you are going to come across as professional, you're going to come across as credible, and that agent is going to be able to sell your offer to the vendor in the best possible way. If you don't include these things, it just shows you're not quite polished, you may be a bit of an amateur, and it gives that away. And it doesn't give the agent everything they need to sell this offer to the vendor. Now, here's an absolutely killer tip which I suggest you do, which many people don't when it comes to submitting an offer on a property. So, we've got the offer amount, we've got a brief justification, we've got all our documents attached. Now, you've got to sell yourself. This is really important. Sell you. Why should the agent put forward your offer? Why should the vendor even accept your offer? You have to sell yourself within this offer. Now, again, similar to a previous point, we don't want to be writing a full A4 on why me and why us. Just a few bullet points will suffice, so maybe a paragraph at the absolute most. And if you can offer these things that I'm about to list right now, scream and shout about them, your offer has a much higher chance of being accepted. Number one is speed. Everyone loves speed. If you can complete within 6 or 8 weeks, absolutely fantastic. Mention this in your offer. Certainty, number two. If the vendor is able to choose you and get a higher probability of making a sale happen, that's absolutely fantastic as well. So, if you can offer certainty, maybe you're buying with cash and you're not buying with a mortgage, and therefore you're not relying on the mortgage lender to be okay with the property, then again, shout, scream, and let the vendor know that you can be buying in cash, and also you have a greater certainty of completing on the deal. And lastly, if you do have an established team, you've got an established conveyancer, solicitor, you have a mortgage broker who you go to, and you've done many of these deals before, again, I tell the vendor that, I'm a professional investor, I purchase many properties, and I've got a great power team around me. I don't change my mind like a first-time buyer, and I'll commit to purchasing this property. So what I'm trying to say is sell yourself, and this offer is a great opportunity for you to sell yourself. Now, for those of you watching this video and this video has resonated with you, and you're still looking for help when it comes to submitting offers on property, negotiating on property, and generally buying property, I would absolutely love to help. This is what I specialize in. So if you want to work with me and want to have a chat together, head to my website, www.ms7.uk, and please do book a call with me. Again, I'm very passionate about mentoring those new to property and those with, a handful of properties, and getting them from, maybe 1, 2, 3 properties to 20 plus properties. A link is also in the description. Now, I wish you all the best with your property investment. Fingers crossed you managed to get an offer agreed on this property, and maybe this video has helped you do that. And if it has, please do let me know. Please do reach out to me. Now, do you have a question? Maybe you've got a question about maybe the next step or the step prior to submitting an offer, whatever that question is, please do comment below, and I personally get back to all those people that submit a question on the channel. All the very best with your property investing day. Goodbye.